Part 182. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1821. 5 years have passed. Xuanhuan Bodhisattva and Luo Bin have been purifying the demon seeds in Erlang Shen and Xiaotian Dog. With the help of the pure world divine power and Yangzi Yulu, Erlang Shen and Xiaotian Dog finally woke up after 5 years. I am. When the demon seeds disappeared, Erlang Shen Yangjian opened his eyes again and found that the whole world seemed different. He felt as if he had been sleeping for an unknown period of time, and only at this moment did he finally wake up. He opened his eyes and glanced ahead, and found that he didn't know Wu Yu and Luo Bin. Only Xuanhuan Bodhisattva was a little familiar to him, but he had seen her for an unknown period of time. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow digit G Wu. His head was still a little dizzy, and he couldn't remember anything. Yang Jian, quickly recall the past and see if you can remember anything. Xuanhuan Bodhisattva smiled slightly, watching Yang Jian wake up, knowing that he should be in good condition. Yeah. Yang Jian closed his eyes. He did not think about who Wu Yu and Luo Bin were, but tried to recall the past. A peaceful heavenly palace was suddenly invaded by a giant beast from outer space, swallowing up the emperors and immortals one after another, until he himself was swallowed, and his memory began to become a little hazy. And these hazy memories made Yang Jian frown. Because he found that everything in this hazy memory was simply unbelievable to him. After he was swallowed by the terrifying giant beast from outer space, he seemed to have become the other party's puppet, and all the other emperors and demons in the Tiangong immortal realm became puppets. The entire Tiangong immortal realm fell, and the emperors and demons were actually controlled by the giant beast from outer space, and they joined forces to completely destroy the entire demon god world. After that, 4 other holy Buddhas, including the great sage equaling heaven from the Tianfo immortal realm, were also besieged and killed by them. Then, they were controlled by the giant beast from outer space and attacked the Tianfo immortal realm together with the giant beast from outer space. In that long-lasting battle of annihilation, the master of the Tianfo immortal realm, Tathagata, actually sacrificed himself, barely repelled the giant beast from outer space, severely injured it, and fell asleep. Until such a long time had passed. Erlang Shen Yangjian even recalled the recent past, from the first time he heard of Wu Yu, to meeting Wu Yu, to his repeated attempts to murder Wu Yu. He finally recalled all these things. I actually did so many things. Erlang Shen Yangjian's face was full of disbelief. He looked down at the roaring sky dog beside him, and the roaring sky dog also looked up at him, and both of them looked a little shocked. Obviously, even the roaring sky dog was swallowed up at that time, and fell into the same puppet-like state, following him to do everything. After recalling, Yang Jian was very clear about the current situation. It was obvious that Xuanhuan Bodhisattva and Luo Bin worked together to use some kind of magical power to purify him and Xiaotian Dog, so that he could recover his previous memories and recall everything in the past. Do you remember? Xuanhuan Bodhisattva looked at his expression and smiled slightly. Thinking back to the time when she purified herself with most of Yangzi Yulu and recovered her memory, she was as surprised as Yang Jian. However, when she purified herself, the series of events that followed had not happened yet, so her mood was definitely not as complicated as Yang Jian's. At this moment, Yang Jian was shocked and guilty. After all, what he recalled about the demon god realm was completely his personal experience, but it was just that the giant beast from outer space that controlled his body at that time. Under his hands, there were countless emperor demons, and he killed several powerful emperor demons alone. If he was awake, how could he do this? What's the current situation of the alien beast? Yang Jian finally came to his senses after recovering his memory, and asked with gritted teeth. It should still be sleeping, but judging from some previous signs, the alien beast should wake up soon, Xuanhuan Bodhisattva replied. Okay. I am willing to join the Bodhisattva camp and work with you to find a way to fight against the alien beast, Yang Jian said decisively. Seeing him wake up and escape from the control of the alien beast, Wu Yu and Luo Bin both breathed a sigh of relief. If this move can be successful, then what they have to do next is to purify the other emperors and rescue them from the control of the alien beast. I wonder how much it will take for Xuanhuan Bodhisattva and this 8th division heavenly dragon to purify an emperor, Yang Jian asked with some concern. His idea was the same as Wu Yu and the others. Naturally, they had to rescue the other emperors first, so that there would be more people and more strength, and it would be much more convenient to act together in the end. Luo Bin replied, the power of purifying the world does not consume much energy. As long as you have the power of the Emperor and the power of the Holy Buddha, you can use the power of purifying the world by combining the two powers. Xuanhuan Bodhisattva, how about your Yangzi Yulu? With the help of the power of purifying the world, I consume very little Yangzi Yulu. Xuanhuan Bodhisattva smiled quietly, and my purifying bottle can regenerate Yangzi Yulu. According to the degree of purifying Yang Jian, the regeneration speed of Yangzi Yulu can almost keep up with the consumption speed, so there is no need to worry. That's good. When Wu Yu and Yang Jian heard this, they were immediately delighted. Before this, even Wu Yu didn't know if they could hold out for too long. After all, it seemed that it would be quite difficult to purify the demons in these emperors. Unexpectedly, relying on the power of purifying the world and the Yangzi Yulu of Xuanhuan Bodhisattva, it would be so easy. The power of purifying the world seems to have some power to restrain the demon. Xuanhuan Bodhisattva expressed her feelings in the past 5 years, I don't know if it's an illusion. I always feel that with Luo Bin's current 5th level of cultivation of Immortals and Buddhas, it shouldn't be that easy to purify the demons. I think so too, but I don't know the details. Luo Bin shook her head and said. Don't think so much for now. Since this method is useful, let's help other emperors purify the demons first. Yang Jian is a little impatient now. He found that he was controlled by the giant beast from outer space and did too many wrong things. Now he especially wants to make up for it. Especially now that he likes Wu Yu so much, he is completely different from before he woke up. After all, Wu Yu was one of the people who helped him wake up. According to Luo Bin and Xuanhuan Bodhisattva, without Wu Yu, they would not have been able to achieve this point. Who should we choose next? Everyone began to discuss the next purification target. At Yang Jian's suggestion, everyone decided to rescue Dongfang Kongjin Saint Emperor and others first, because it was not so easy for them to completely control the stronger Emperor Immortals, so they started with the simple ones. Dongfang Kongjin Saint Emperor was at a similar level to Yang Jian, so it was relatively easy to control him, and after the rescue was successful, he could help more. After the decision was made, everyone continued to act. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1822. Wu Yu had contact with the Eastern Kongjin Saint Emperor earlier, and his level was similar to that of Erlang Shen Yang Jian. For them now, there were still many targets to choose from, but there was no need to pursue those who were too strong for the time being. So together with Yang Jian, they went to the Eastern Kongjin Saint Emperor. Now with the help of Yang Jian and Roaring Sky Dog, Wu Yu defeated the Eastern Kongjin Saint Emperor more easily, and controlled him with the sealing magic of the Ruyi Golden Cudgel, completely immobilizing him. In this state, the Eastern Kongjin Saint Emperor kept trying to struggle, with panic in his eyes. But as Luo Bin performed the purification of the world and cooperated with the Yangzi Yulu of Xuanhuan Bodhisattva to purify the Eastern Kongjin Saint Emperor, his expression gradually calmed down, similar to that of Erlang Shen Yang Jian. After a total of almost 5 years, the demon seeds in his body were finally completely eliminated. Waves of black air were constantly purified from the Eastern Kongjin Saint Emperor's body, and soon completely dissipated. Then, the Holy Emperor Dongfang Kongjin returned to normal, and like Erlang Shen Yang Jian, he recalled many memories from the past, as well as the hazy memories of being controlled. For the fact that he actually participated in the action of destroying the demon god world, the Holy Emperor Dongfang Kongjin was simply heartbroken and could hardly forgive the mistakes he made. If it weren't for Xuanhuan Bodhisattva and Wu Yu constantly comforting the Holy Emperor Dongfang Kongjin, I'm afraid he would have been immersed in grief for a long time before he could recover. Fortunately, after figuring out the current situation, the Holy Emperor Dongfang Kongjin didn't get too entangled, and said decisively, "In this case, this immortal will accompany you to help you purify more emperors and return the heaven to peace." So, Wu Yu and the others got the support of Yang Jian and the Holy Emperor Dongfang Kongjin. Until now, Wu Yu finally felt that Erlang Shen Yang Jian was much more pleasing to the eye. When these emperors were entangled by demons, lost their memories, and acted in the heaven by instinct, they basically didn't think about it, and they were completely casual when they encountered things. So before, Taizhang Lejun wanted to refine Wu Yu into a golden elixir, probably for this reason, and didn't think too much about it. However, now that they have purified the demons, they have recovered their ability to think, and remembered their previous memories. They are particularly indignant about the alien beasts that invaded the Tiangong immortal realm. After the Eastern Kongjin Saint Emperor, they immediately found the Northern Arctic Xianling Do Mu Yuanjun and others. These emperors are also relatively important in the heavenly court. Mainly starting from the 7th level of the Eternal Emperor Immortal, all the way down, even including the 4 heavenly kings, the ancient giant spirit god and others that Wu Yu has always disliked, they were purified one by one. Soon, they had gathered dozens of emperors, and it took about 400 or 500 years in total. These emperors have recovered their previous memories, and know the truth about the destruction of the demon god world and the fact that the alien beasts invaded, and they all regret it very much. Especially the 4 heavenly kings, it is even more difficult to accept that they have repeatedly tried to murder Wu Yu. Although it was because Wu Yu provoked their offspring first, in fact, their behavior was still out of control. The demons in their bodies made them puppets, and also made their minds imperfect and more irritable. In any case, the situation is now very clear. Wu Yu and Xuanhuan Bodhisattva are the only hope of the entire Tiangong immortal realm, and they must rely on them to save the entire Tiangong immortal realm. However, when Xuanhuan Bodhisattva and Luo Bin had saved these dozens of emperors, they consumed more, especially the Emperor Realm immortal power and Holy Buddha power in Luo Bin's body, which were basically consumed, and had to stop temporarily. So, they all returned to the Eternal Emperor burial, intending to discuss the next action first and make a long-term plan. When they arrived at the Eternal Emperor burial, looking at the Emperor demon tombs all over the mountains, these emperors were extremely heartbroken. In order to make up for the mistakes they made, they planned to always stand on Wu Yu's side until they defeated the alien beast. Everyone gathered together to discuss the next action. Dongfang Kongjin Saint Emperor, the most urgent task is to wake up the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor was once the master of the fairyland, but now he is controlled by the demons and has returned to the 9th level of the Emperor Immortal. If he can wake up, he may be able to regain control of the heavenly palace fairyland. Yang Jian said, "Yes, only by waking up the Jade Emperor can we fight against the alien beast, otherwise the chances of winning are slim." Now these emperors have recovered their memories. They fully understand how terrible the alien beast was when it invaded. So they suggested that the Jade Emperor should be restored first. But it is not so easy to subdue the Jade Emperor. At least now, with Wu Yu's strength, he is not the opponent of the Jade Emperor. Even if so many emperors join forces, they cannot defeat the Jade Emperor and control him. If the Jade Emperor cannot be immobilized, it is impossible to use the purification magic on him, and there is no way to expel the demons in his body. Everyone said that now that they have more people and more power, they can attack stronger emperors, such as the 3 pure ones. The emperors felt that as long as they purified the other emperors in the heaven and restored them to normal, and finally besieged the Jade Emperor together, they would definitely be able to subdue him. Next, after Luo Bin and Guanyin Bodhisattva have rested, they will continue to start with the emperors of the 8th level, defeat them one by one, control them, and then purify the demons in their bodies. The first target they chose was Tai's Hanglejun. Wu Yu still had some resentment towards Tai's Hanglejun. After all, when he was thrown into the Bagua furnace, he almost let him refine into a golden elixir. If Tai's Hanglejun succeeded, there would probably be no series of events later. But now, Wu Yu was too lazy to think about the past grudges. After all, fighting against the alien beasts is the biggest goal now, not to mention that Tai's Hanglejun was still unconscious at that time. When they arrived at the Tushita Palace and found Tai's Hanglejun, Wu Yu and his team basically didn't give him any time to react. Including Wu Yu and Guanyin Bodhisattva, as well as Yang Jian, Dongfang Kongjin Saint Emperor, etc., they attacked together and defeated Tai's Hanglejun almost instantly. You, what's going on? Tai's Hanglejun looked at the many emperors and immortals who actually besieged him together, and was a little puzzled and completely confused. But as the years passed, he was suppressed and controlled by Wu Yu's Ruyi Jingbang. Guanyin Bodhisattva and Luo Bin joined forces to use the purification magic on him, and finally completely purified the evil in his body. Finally, the first 8th level Emperor Immortal was awakened in the heavenly court. Tai's Hanglejun recalled a series of things that happened in the past and couldn't help sighing. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1823. At this moment, there were already many emperors gathered around Wu Yu and his group. When Tai's Hanglejun woke up, it would be easier for them to continue to rescue other emperors who were controlled as puppets. The next ones to be purified of the demons in their bodies by the pure world divine power were Yuanqi Tianzun and Lingbao Tianzun, followed by Zhong Tianzaiwei Emperor, Nanji Changsheng Emperor, Dongji Qinghua Emperor and Ziji Tianhuang Emperor. Not long after, most of the emperors in the heavenly court had recovered their lost memories and escaped from the control of the alien beast. They recalled everything in the past, all of them burst into tears, and at the same time, they were unimaginable, and they were extremely self-blaming and regretful. For them, the destruction of the demon god world became an eternal pain in their hearts. So after recovering their memories, none of these emperors left, and they all decided to stay to help Wu Yu and his group, and work together to find a way to fight the alien beast. All the emperors knew that once the giant beast from outer space awakened and no one could resist it, all the emperors of the heavenly palace would eventually be annihilated and become ashes in history. While constantly rescuing these emperors, Luo Bin was also becoming stronger and stronger. Mainly because Wu Yu and Guanyin Bodhisattva found that the speed at which they rescued the emperors was completely related to Luo Bin's ability. When dispersing the demons in the emperors, the Yangzi Yulu in Guanyin Bodhisattva's bottle was only auxiliary, and the most important thing was the purification magic power of Luo Bin's 8 heavenly dragons. Once Luo Bin became stronger, it would be easier to purify the demons. Guanyin Bodhisattva discovered that the purification magic power of the 8 heavenly dragons seemed to have some kind of restraining effect on the demons, otherwise Luo Bin would not be at this level, and her purification magic power would be able to surpass Guanyin Bodhisattva's Yangzi Yulu. This seems to be a special attribute of the dragon clan, but it is not known why this happened for the time being. In any case, Wu Yu and Guanyin Bodhisattva continued to train Luo Bin. After about 100,000 years, Luo Bin finally created the River of Time in the Emperor realm and reached the 6th level of the Emperor Immortal. At this time, her power of purifying the world was even stronger, and it became easier and simpler to purify the demons in the Emperor Immortal's body. To this day, they have joined forces to purify the demons of thousands of Emperor Immortals. Many Emperor Immortals in the heavenly court have gathered together and become an important helper for Wu Yu and Xuanhuan Bodhisattva. And in the later period, they turned to attack the immortal emperors and demons in the 10,000 hells. These emperors and demons are also gods in the heavenly palace immortal realm, such as the 10 palaces of hell, Cultivation, black and white impermanence, etc. Wu Yu and his team did not follow the routine, because now their camp is strong and the lineup is complete, and they can start with the strongest 10 palaces of hell. Then the 10 palaces of hell quickly regained consciousness and memory. Under their call, more emperors and demons were directly summoned by the imperial edict, and they were subdued and purified one by one. 30,000 years after Lupin reached the 6th level of the Emperor Immortal, all the Emperor Immortals and Emperor Demons who reached the 5th level in the entire Heavenly Palace, except for the Jade Emperor and Queen Mother in the Lingxiao Palace, had their demon seeds removed. The effect of the purifying divine power was unexpectedly good. This shocked Wu Yu and Xuanhuan Bodhisattva, and they felt that it must be the power of the 8 heavenly dragons that had a restraining effect on the demon seed. Otherwise, it would take at least twice as long to remove all the demon seeds in so many Emperor Immortals and Emperor Demons. During this process, Wu Yu often saw Lupin being too tired, and every time he would reward Lupin to let her relax a little. As for what kind of reward, it is really not something that outsiders can tell. The Jade Emperor and Queen Mother, the two of them have always been in their own territory and have not come out. As for what is happening outside, they don't know. After all, the outside world has changed quietly over the past 100,000 years. If nothing major happened, the Jade Emperor would not summon other emperors to the Lingxiao Palace. Finally, when only the two of them and their people were left, Wu Yu and the others started discussing again. We should wake up the Queen Mother first. She is at the 8th level of the Eternal Emperor Immortal. We have experience. Yes, with the Queen Mother's care, it will be much easier to try to purify the Jade Emperor's demon seeds in the end. Everyone made a decision quickly. While the Queen Mother was unaware of anything, the entire Kunlun heaven was jointly sealed by Wu Yu and the others. Then, they appeared directly in the Yaokai Palace and attacked the Queen Mother with lightning speed. The Queen Mother was naturally furious when she saw so many emperors and demons suddenly appearing and attacking her, but she wanted to send a message to the Jade Emperor, but she couldn't do it at all. After all, the entire Kunlun heaven had been jointly sealed by the emperors. The 3 celestial masters, Tais Hanglajun, Yuanqi Tianzun, and Lingbao Tianzun, did not even need help from others. Together, they quickly subdued the Queen Mother. What are you doing? The Queen Mother simply could not understand all this. It was not until Wu Yu appeared in front of her and completely controlled her with the sealing magic power like a golden hoop that the Queen Mother felt something was wrong. Then, Lupin and Xuanhuan Bodhisattva also appeared in front of her and began to purify the demons in her body with Yangzi Yulu and the magic power of purifying the world. The Queen Mother was subdued and could not resist at all. But what many emperors and demons, as well as Wu Yu and Xuanhuan Bodhisattva did not know was that when they were fighting with the Queen Mother and trying to subdue her, a figure quietly escaped from the back hall of Yaokai Palace. The entire Kunlun heaven had been sealed by them, but this figure was able to leave the Chongtian Palace and escape directly to find the Jade Emperor. This figure was Nanggong Wei. None of Wu Yu and the others knew this. And just when they gathered together to purify the Queen Mother, suddenly a vast breath that shocked the sky came from outside Kunlun heaven. The band that sealed the entire Kunlun heaven collapsed at this moment. Rebellion, rebellion. The image of the young man of the Jade Emperor appeared in front of many emperors, attracting the attention of all emperors and demons. But at this moment, the Jade Emperor became extremely angry. Because when he came here, he found that all the emperors and demons were standing on Wu Yu's side, and even attacking the Queen Mother. This gave him the illusion that Wu Yu was going to lead the Emperor Immortals and Emperor Demons to overthrow his rule, which naturally made him extremely angry. The Jade Emperor came here and immediately attacked in anger. The terrifying power erupted in Yaokai Palace. Many Emperor Immortals and Emperor Demons directly joined hands at this moment, barely blocking the Jade Emperor's offensive, and then began to persuade him. Heaven-swallowing record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1824. Your Majesty, you must calm down. Think carefully, do you still remember the giant beast from outer space? Your Majesty, don't be impulsive. We are not going to resist you, but the situation is special and we have to do so. Please understand. Many emperors and demons began to persuade him with words. At the same time, they had to work together with all their strength to resist the offensive of the Jade Emperor in anger. The Jade Emperor is the only 9th-level emperor in the entire Tiangong immortal realm. The other emperors, immortals, and demons could not control him, and could only bite the bullet to resist his offensive. However, the offensive of the Jade Emperor became more and more intense, and he did not listen to the advice of the emperors and demons at all. He did not listen to anything they said. This is the state after being controlled by the demon species, which makes many emperors and demons extremely puzzled, but there is nothing they can do. Luo Bin, let's continue to purify the Queen Mother. When Xuanhuan Bodhisattva saw that everyone else had resisted the Jade Emperor, she said to Luo Bin with a serious expression. Yes. Luo Bin nodded. She also knew that the situation was urgent now. If they could purify the demons in the Queen Mother's body, it would be of great benefit to their future actions. If they failed now, it would be difficult to make a breakthrough in the future. In the next few decades, they were purifying the Queen Mother. The 8 celestial dragons' magical powers of purifying the world continued to expel the black demons in the Queen Mother's body, and black air was constantly expelled from the Queen Mother's body. The Jade Emperor was fighting crazily with many emperors, immortals, and demons. The entire Kunlun heaven had become a battlefield of gunpowder. The terrifying power kept erupting. The whole Yaokai Palace was constantly shaking with the feeling of space, which made Wu Yu a little nervous. But he didn't dare to leave Luo Bin and go outside to resist the Jade Emperor. Because Lupin and Xuanhuan Bodhisattva are doing their best to purify the Queen Mother, once he leaves, if Lupin and the others encounter any danger, they will be defenseless. Therefore, Wu Yu must protect them both. Feeling the terrifying movement of the earth shaking and the collapse of the mountains, Wu Yu was a little worried about the emperors and demons. However, when resisting the Jade Emperor, the emperors and demons were measured and played a more conservative style. In order to prevent the power of the battle from destroying the entire Kunlun heaven, the emperors and demons mainly used some defensive means and the emperor's magical powers that could absorb power to minimize the attack power of the Jade Emperor. At the same time, they did not launch any offensive against the Jade Emperor. It can be seen that they definitely did not want to hurt the Jade Emperor. Of course, the Jade Emperor is much stronger than them. Even if they want to hurt the Jade Emperor, they may not be able to do it, but from their actions, it can be seen that they have no such intention at all. Finally, at a certain moment several decades later, the demon seed in the Queen Mother's body was completely dispersed. After being purified, the Queen Mother's eyes finally regained clarity. At this moment, she recalled everything in the past, whether it was her lost memory or her confused memory, all of which appeared in her mind. She understood everything that had happened recently at once. Wu Yu, I didn't expect such a thing to happen. I really wronged you. The Queen Mother glanced at Wu Yu. Originally, she had no good feelings towards Wu Yu, but now she understood that all this was Wu Yu's effort. If it weren't for Wu Yu, she and the other emperors, immortals, and demons would not know how long they would be controlled. So that once the alien beast wakes up, everything will be over, and there will be no chance of recovery. The entire Tiangong immortal realm will be completely devoured by the giant beast from outer space, leaving nothing behind. All living things will be destroyed. It was all because of Wu Yu, who persevered in adversity and finally found a way to purify all of them, the Emperor Immortals and the Emperor Demons. The Queen Mother still remembered the battle with the invasion of the Holy Bhutan not long ago. If it weren't for Wu Yu's efforts, I'm afraid that the Emperor Immortals and the Holy Buddhas in the Tiangong Immortal Realm and the Tianfo Immortal Realm would have destroyed each other. This is what I should do. Wu Yu is still a little sad now. After all, so many Emperor Immortals and Holy Buddhas died at that time. Now the most urgent task is to control the Jade Emperor and dispel the demons in his body. Once successful, the Tiangong Immortal Realm will be liberated. Well, I'll help you. The Queen Mother nodded, and then left the Yaokai Palace with Wu Yu, launching a suppressive offensive against the Golden Emperor between heaven and earth. It was at this time, in a mysterious and empty place. Nangong Wei's figure came to this mysterious and empty space. No one knew where it was, and no one knew how she got in. Her figure flashed, and soon she came to the center of the entire empty space. In the center of the empty space, there was an extremely huge white cat sleeping. The body of the giant white cat was empty, but in the process of continuous solidification, it seemed to be recovering from its severe injuries. When Nangong Wei came here, she reported to the giant white cat very respectfully, "Master, your puppets have all been purified and awakened." This sentence startled the giant white cat, and its body suddenly became solid, and it suddenly opened its eyes. The pair of pupils contained endless darkness, mystery, and revealed a terrifying breath that could devour everything. The next moment, a white light whistled out and merged into Nangong Wei's body. Nangong Wei closed her eyes the next moment. Under the amazing effect of the white light, her body suddenly turned into a black fire phoenix, burning with terrifying world-destroying flames all over her body, and her pupils became dark and deep. At this moment, her pupils became somewhat similar to those of the white cat. She accepted the power of the white cat and followed the will of the giant white cat, turning into a jet of black flames, burning all over the space, and instantly returned to Kunlun heaven. At this moment, the battle in Kunlun heaven has reached a white-hot stage. When the Queen Mother, Xuanhuan Bodhisattva, and Wu Yu joined the battle together, they were finally able to suppress the Jade Emperor. It can almost be said that dozens of them beat him one to barely gain a little advantage and try to subdue him. At this time, a black flame that could burn the space suddenly appeared in Kunlun heaven. The entire sky and the entire Tiangong were surrounded by black flames at this moment. A merciless phoenix with black flames burning all over its body appeared in front of everyone. Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor. The Immortal Emperor, the Demon Emperor, and Wu Yu all looked up at the dark flames around them, and their expressions all changed. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1825. The black flames that covered the sky and the sun descended from the sky and surrounded them from all directions. The phoenix in the center with black flames all over its body, who else could it be but Nangong Wei? As soon as the black phoenix appeared, it attacked the many emperors and demons who had recovered their memories frantically, and countless flames spread to the entire Kunlun heaven. From the looks of her, she is trying to stop us from purifying the Jade Emperor. Wu Yu's face changed slightly. He saw that Nangong Wei, who had transformed into a black phoenix, surrounded the Jade Emperor as soon as she appeared, and joined forces with the Jade Emperor to counter-attack the many emperors and demons. Originally, it was very difficult for many emperors and demons to deal with the Jade Emperor, and almost all of them used their strongest strength. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow dot. But now, Nangong Wei has transformed into a black phoenix, and her strength is almost the same as that of the Jade Emperor, and she is completely on the side of the Jade Emperor. It can be seen that Nangong Wei seems to have lost her mind now, and has no self-consciousness at all. There is a kind of confusion in her pupils, but her own attack is extremely cruel, as if she is controlled by something. Why is she so powerful? Why did she lose her mind too? Wu Yu couldn't imagine it. You have to know that Nangong Wei is a new immortal who ascended from the lower world like him. Even if she is the daughter of the original Phoenix Emperor and the identity of the Fire Dance Phoenix King, she has absolutely nothing to do with the alien beast. After all, the alien beast appeared and devoured everything a million years ago. At that time, Wu Yu and Nangongwei were not born yet. After the alien beast fell asleep, the creatures born again should not be controlled by it, right? No one present could understand this. However, at this moment, when Nangongwei attacked, the black flames swept across the sky, and joined forces with the vast imperial power of the Jade Emperor, and really beat Wu Yu and his group of emperors and demons to retreat step by step, unable to resist at all. Retreat first. Seeing that the situation was not good, Xuanhuan Bodhisattva made a decision immediately. The Queen Mother also knew that the situation was not good, so she asked the emperors and demons to retreat one after another, and finally retreated to the Eternal Emperor burial with Wu Yu. Otherwise, there might be casualties among the emperors and demons, which was not a scene they wanted to see. Is she Nangongwei? Or is she still the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor? This question kept echoing in Wu Yu's mind. Unfortunately, after returning to the Eternal Emperor burial and the situation stabilized, even if everyone asked the Queen Mother said that she had no idea about it. Because when the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor was practicing beside her, she had never felt anything unusual. I felt the breath of the alien beast from the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor, Xuanhuan Bodhisattva said solemnly. These words made everyone's face change greatly. It is possible that the alien beast affected the Queen Mother? That's why she didn't notice the abnormality of the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor. Many emperors and demons were thinking this way. If Nangongwei really had no abnormality, it would be impossible for her to suddenly lose control. The change was so huge, and it was related to the alien beast. Now it seems that the alien beast must know about this. I'm afraid it will wake up soon. Many emperors looked ugly. They knew very well how terrible the alien beast was. Once the entire Tiangong fairyland was swallowed by it, all the emperors and demons, and even the saints of the Tianfo fairyland, could not do anything to the alien beast. Once awakened, the alien beast will directly control this Tiangong fairyland. What should we do? At this point, the Jade Emperor is unable to purify it. In this situation, it seems that there is no way to save it. Many emperors and demons even felt desperate. They kept discussing what to do next, and finally turned their attention to the Queen Mother and Xuanhuan Bodhisattva, wanting them to make a decision. The Queen Mother is the undisputed second master of the heavenly court. Now that the Jade Emperor is gone, only her words have the most say. And Xuanhuan Bodhisattva is the super-powerful Holy Buddha of the Tianfo immortal realm. She remembers the events of the past most clearly and is also convincing. They discussed it privately, and finally cast their eyes on Wu Yu. We definitely don't have much time now. The giant beast from outer space may wake up at any time. The Queen Mother looked at Wu Yu and said with hope, since you, Wu Yu, have the body of the descendant of the giant beast from outer space, there may be a way now. What way? Wu Yu's expression became solemn. He also felt that his heaven-devouring body might be the key to saving the entire Tiangong immortal realm. But as for how he was going to do it, he was not sure, and now he could only follow the advice of the Queen Mother. That is to devour the well of immortality in the Tiangong immortal realm. The Queen Mother suggested, the Jade Emperor was once the master of the Tiangong immortal realm. The entire Tiangong immortal realm actually belonged to his imperial realm. Before creating the immortal realm, the ninth level of the immortal Emperor Immortal was to create the well of immortality. If you want to step into the ninth level of the immortal Emperor Immortal, you must build the well of immortality in the imperial realm, and then penetrate all the small worlds to form a prototype of the immortal realm. This well of immortality is the key to becoming the master of the immortal realm. After the Queen Mother's explanation, many emperors and demons, including Wu Yu, finally understood what she meant. She said that the well of immortality is the bridge to the Lord of the immortal realm. It is equivalent to building the well of immortality in the Emperor realm before truly transcending and becoming the Lord of the immortal realm. To fight against the giant beast from outer space, it is definitely necessary to have a figure at the level of the Lord of the immortal realm. And now, the most likely person to achieve this is Wu Yu, who has the body of swallowing the sky. Once the prototype of the immortal realm is formed and finally transcends to become a real immortal realm, Wu Yu will be the new lord of the immortal realm. Now, the Tiangong immortal realm has actually been destroyed. If you want to save the creatures of all worlds and cannot defeat the giant beast from outer space, you can only create a new immortal realm. The Queen Mother said solemnly, Wu Yu, you have the ability to devour, maybe you can grow quickly and become the new lord of the immortal realm, and then transfer the creatures of the entire Tiangong immortal realm to your emperor realm. This idea can be said to be very bold. But this is also the only way that Queen Mother and Xuanhuan Bodhisattva think after discussing. This makes Wu Yu feel a little heavy, and he also feels that the responsibility on his shoulders is really heavy. The blood feud of the demon god world, the hatred of the predecessors of the Monkey King, and the hatred of the chaos in the entire Tianfo immortal realm, everything is weighing on his shoulders, and perhaps now it has to be added to the expectations of the emperors and demons of the entire Tiangong immortal realm. This makes Wu Yu feel heavy on his shoulders, but he has no choice. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1826. The Tiangong immortal realm has been occupied by a giant beast from outer space, which is a fact known to all the emperors and demons. Now, the Jade Emperor and the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor have joined forces, and they have no way to fight against them and purify them. In this way, the method that the Queen Mother thought of may be the only way. When Wu Yu and many emperors and demons understood her meaning, the Queen Mother continued to introduce the source of the well of immortality in the Tiangong immortal realm. In fact, the original well of immortality was the backbone of a terrible dragon. It was created after the Jade Emperor encountered a terrible dragon in the endless void and defeated it. Therefore, the well of immortality is actually a part of the corpse. Wu Yu, you have the ability to devour, and you may be able to peel off the well of immortality and create your own well of immortality in your own emperor realm. If successful, your Earth Emperor realm will expand and form the prototype of the immortal realm, and you will have the ability to carry the entire Tiangong immortal realm. At that time, there was no need for the Queen Mother to say more. Wu Yu also knew what to do. Strip and devour the well of eternal life, and use it to create the well of eternal life in your own imperial realm. Afterwards, the imperial realm expanded and became the prototype of a large fairyland. At this time, all the creatures in the Heavenly Palace fairyland must be saved. As for the Heavenly Palace fairyland, it has already been devoured by the giant beast from outer space. In this way, it will completely dissipate. Wu Yu looked solemn and nodded to agree to the Queen Mother's proposal. I, the great Emperor of Zhongtianzaiwei, am willing to protect Wu Yu. I, Yuanqi Tianzun, protect Wu Yu. We, the 10 kings of hell, are willing to protect you. At this time, countless emperors and demons around were all excited. At this critical moment of life and death, they had their own wisdom and consciousness, and made what they thought was the most correct decision. Helping Wu Yu and stripping and devouring the well of eternal life is their only way now. Many emperors and demons protected Wu Yu in the middle, and then returned to the 8,000 heavenly palaces again. When they returned from the eternal emperor burial, the Jade Emperor and the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor had already disappeared. They were not targeting these two people. Even if they found them, they would not be their opponents. It was better not to look for them. They just hoped that they would not come to disturb Wu Yu's swallowing and peeling of the well of eternal life. The vast heavenly palace, the well of eternal life connected to the sky, connected to the core of the heavenly palace fairyland, The 8,000 heavenly palaces. Everyone stood in front of the well of eternal life with complicated expressions. The heavenly palace fairyland was the place where they were born. All the emperors and demons were basically born in this fairyland, practiced, and finally became emperors and reached their current level. Although there was no way, they still felt a sense of sighing when they saw that the well of eternal life was about to be swallowed and the entire heavenly palace fairyland was close to destruction. Even Wu Yu, although he was born until now, he was far less emotional about the heavenly palace fairyland than other emperors and demons, but he also felt reluctant. Unfortunately, he knew that now was not the time for him to be indecisive. He had to act quickly, otherwise once the Jade Emperor and the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor noticed it, it would be extremely difficult for him to peel off and devour the well of eternal life. This is the spine of a terrifying dragon in the endless void. Wu Yu looked up and could feel a vast divine power from it, emitting a faint dragon's anger, which spread to the world. Every time he walked in the well of eternal life, he felt surrounded by a powerful aura, which was the power of the dragon. The body of the swallowing sky. Wu Yu did not observe for too long, just took a look and understood the structure of the well of eternal life again. Then, he finally transformed into the body of the swallowing sky beast, and the terrifying devouring power began to burst out towards the well of eternal life. With the help of Xuanhuan Bodhisattva and Queen Mother, Wu Yu already knew the weakest link of the entire well of eternal life. At this moment, the swallowing power in the sky gathered towards the connection of each layer of the heavenly palace. Here, it was the most easily loosened place. If you want to devour the well of eternal life, you must start from these connections. As a result, the entire Tiangong immortal domain was shaken. The mighty devouring power, intertwined with the might of the dragon, seemed to burst out a dragon roar that resounded through the sky, spreading throughout the Tiangong immortal domain. 8,000 Tiangongs, 90,000 small worlds, and even 10,000 hells, at this moment, all were shaken by this dragon roar. Countless creatures looked around, as if a god had descended to the world. The sky of each Tiangong seemed to have dragon energy flying, wandering in the void. Billions of ordinary creatures were shocked, including those ordinary gods. Then, the connection between each Tiangong began to collapse and shatter under the impact of the devouring power. The entire Tiangong immortal domain was shaken at this moment, and all space was shaking violently. Just like a building whose foundation was taken away in an instant, the entire Tiangong immortal realm became extremely fragile, as if it would collapse completely in the next moment. Swallow. With the earth-shaking roar of Wu Yu, who turned into a giant beast that swallowed the sky, the entire well of immortality was stripped from the Tiangong immortal realm by him. At this moment, he had reached the 8th level of both immortal and Buddha cultivation, and already possessed such power. The next step was to build the well of immortality in his own imperial realm. So, the well of immortality in the original Tiangong immortal realm became his goal, and also the only hope for the emperors, immortals, and demons in the entire Tiangong immortal realm. The mighty and majestic dragon shook the sky and the underworld was in turmoil. The extremely huge sky-devouring beast swallowed the well of eternal life in the heavenly palace fairyland section by section. Countless emperor immortals and emperor demons watched this scene, and each of them was shocked. Even if they reached the 8th level of Emperor Immortal, they could not have such ability. They were shocked in their hearts. Have the descendants of the alien beast grown to such a level? Fortunately, Wu Yu was completely on their side, instead of becoming a helper for the alien beast. Otherwise, the heavenly palace fairyland would have been in despair. The space of countless heavenly palaces began to turbulent. With the departure of the well of eternal life, the void trembled everywhere, and the earth shook. Fortunately, this kind of shaking and trembling would not kill too many creatures. The main reason is that the people in the heavenly palace are all immortals, and they all have a certain degree of self-protection ability. Unless the entire heavenly palace is destroyed, it is still difficult for them to die. Soon, Wu Yu completely swallowed the entire well of eternal life into the body of the devouring heaven, roaring uncontrollably, almost uncontrollably. Just at this moment, two figures came across that space. After the Jade Emperor and the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor noticed such a big commotion, they finally appeared. Not good, hurry up. The faces of many emperors and demons changed drastically. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1827. The Jade Emperor and the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor appeared, and many Emperor Immortals and Emperor Demons, seeing that Wu Yu was still swallowing the stripped well of eternal life, immediately blocked him in front. Jade Emperor, don't be impulsive. All the Emperor Immortals blocked the Jade Emperor and protected Wu Yu. Unfortunately, the Jade Emperor was now completely angry. He had no memories of the past, but he was dissatisfied with Wu Yu. After all, he had violated so many heavenly rules. Now he saw that all the Emperor Immortals and Emperor Demons were standing on Wu Yu's side. How could he bear it? However, just when the Jade Emperor wanted to make a move, Wu Yu had already swallowed up all the well of eternal life. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. Go. Seeing this scene, the Emperor Immortals and Emperor Demons also knew that there was no point in talking to the Jade Emperor, and they scattered around and followed Wu Yu to escape from here. The well of eternal life was stripped away by Wu Yu. The Jade Emperor and the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor arrived too late and were completely unable to stop it. Seeing many emperors and demons fleeing separately, the Jade Emperor was so angry that he was about to die, but unfortunately there was nothing he could do. Because Wu Yu and his team directly took the emperors and demons back to the Eternal Life Emperor's burial, and the Jade Emperor and the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor could definitely not enter this place. The entire 8,000 heavenly palaces now seemed to be collapsing. There was unrest and tremors everywhere. Wu Yu, who returned to the Eternal Life Emperor's burial in the demon god realm, also knew that there was no time to lose. He had to devour the power of the well of eternal life, and then go back to save other creatures in the heavenly palace immortal realm, and transfer those gods and sentient beings to his own emperor realm. Now he is at the 8th level of the emperor immortal realm, and he cannot accommodate so many creatures. But as long as he can completely devour and digest the power of the well of eternal life, according to what the Queen Mother said, there will be no problem. Then, the other emperors, immortals, and demons from the heavens and hells came to protect him. He began to consume the power of the well of immortality that he had swallowed, and began to build the well of immortality in his own imperial realm. Day after day, year after year. The construction of the well of immortality is definitely not something that can be completed overnight. Even if Wu Yu swallowed the well of immortality from the original Tiangong immortal realm, it would take a long time to reappear in his Tiantian emperor realm. Until, another 30,000 years passed. In Wu Yu's Tiantian emperor realm, countless small worlds were connected by the power from the ancient dragon, and a well of immortality like the one in the Tiangong immortal realm was born from his Tiantian emperor realm. In the Tiantian emperor realm, the vast immortal spirit surrounded the entire well of immortality. Some creatures and ordinary immortals who were originally in the Tiantian emperor realm are now all over the Tiantian emperor realm, praising and marveling at this change. In the eyes of those creatures, this is the greatest fortune in the world. With the well of immortality, the heaven-devouring emperor realm became more vast and majestic, and began to expand towards the surroundings. The heaven-devouring emperor realm, which was only about half the size of the demon god realm, expanded at least 10 times at this moment. Although it was not as big as the original heavenly palace fairyland, it was already infinitely close to that level. The immortal spirit was boundless. The entire heaven-devouring emperor realm had become a new world. The thousands of worlds connected by the well of immortality were just like the 8,000 heavenly palaces in the past, floating in the immortal spirit. Countless creatures were born, nurtured, grown, and multiplied in them, making the entire heaven-devouring emperor realm prosperous and full of vitality. The ninth level of the Emperor Immortal Realm, the Well of Immortality, was finally completed. At this time, even the Emperor Immortals and Emperor Demons of the original Heavenly Palace Fairyland could survive and practice in Wu Yu's Heaven-Devouring Emperor Realm. His Heaven-Devouring Emperor Realm had already evolved into half of the Heavenly Palace Fairyland. Just one step further, and he can become the true master of the Fairyland, but this step is extremely difficult to take. For 30,000 years, the situation of the Tiangong Fairyland, which has been stripped of the Well of Eternal Life, is definitely not optimistic. Wu Yu must rush over as soon as possible to save all the creatures in the Tiangong Fairyland to the Tiantian Emperor Realm. It is naturally difficult for him to do it alone, but he has the help of many emperors and demons. In addition, when he returns to the Tiangong Fairyland again, he must choose to purify the Jade Emperor first and let him recover. With the help of the Jade Emperor, the former master of the Tiangong Fairyland, he can save the mortals and ordinary gods in the Tiangong Fairyland at the fastest speed. Now he has reached the ninth level of the Emperor's power, and with the magical power of the Ruyi Jinggubang, he can already fight against the Jade Emperor. There is also a Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor, who can only be held back by other emperors and demons. Let's go. Led by Xuanhuan Bodhisattva and Queen Mother, the emperors and demons set out again. Of course, this time, Wu Yu was the leader. He had reached the ninth level of the Emperor Immortal, and he was already the strongest among the Emperor Immortals and Emperor Demons of the original Tiangong Immortal domain. Moreover, if they wanted to defeat the giant beast from outer space, they had to rely mainly on Wu Yu's body of the sky-devouring beast. Returning to the Tiangong Immortal domain, they found that although the movement here was not small, it was shaken almost every day because of the loss of the Well of Eternal Life, and even several layers of the Tiangong collided with each other. Fortunately, there were not too many immortals killed or injured. The immortals who could live in the 8,000 heavenly palaces all had a certain ability to protect themselves. After all, they were no longer mortals. Seeing that there was nothing serious, Wu Yu and his team did not hesitate and went directly to the Lingxiao Palace. The Jade Emperor and the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor are inside. Wu Yu, you hurry up and control the Jade Emperor, we will hold the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor back. Bodhisattva Xuanhuan and Queen Mother said together, and then led other emperors and demons to rush into the Lingxiao Palace. Wu Yu was naturally unwilling to fall behind. He felt the heavy responsibility on his shoulders. Jade Emperor, come out and fight. He held the Ruyi golden cudgel, an endless golden light bloomed around him, and rushed into the Lingxiao Palace. The Jade Emperor can be said to be a bear emperor now. All the emperors and demons under him are against him, which makes him extremely angry. Seeing Wu Yu and his men coming to kill again, the Jade Emperor fell into anger again, and the terrifying power burst out, and he attacked Wu Yu. 6 Paths Heavenly Emperor Reincarnation Tribulation. The power from the original Lord of the Immortal Realm was burst out by the Jade Emperor. 6 Paths Heavenly Emperor Reincarnation Tribulation. This is the Emperor's magical power of the Lord of the Immortal Realm, casually outlines the deepest mystery between heaven and earth, and rolls towards Wu Yu with the power of the Emperor. Such a huge magical power, if it were the former Wu Yu, he would definitely not be able to resist, and would be seriously injured when he met. But at this moment, Wu Yu was surrounded by the power of the Well of Eternal Life when he waved his hand, and the aura of immortal spirits was magnificent and vast. Every move drove the power of heaven and earth, piercing the sky. The golden light of the Ruyi golden cudgel burst out, integrated with the infinite immortal power of the Well of Eternal Life, and burst out a vast stick shadow, which came with a bang, and in an instant, the magical power of the 6 Paths Heavenly Emperor Reincarnation Tribulation was blasted. There will be more updates today, and I will only write the Heaven Swallowing Record during the day today. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1828. The golden light of the Ruyi Jinggubang burst out, and the piercing heavenly divine power roared out, which blasted the Jade Emperor's 6 paths Heavenly Emperor reincarnation tribulation killing power. With just this one move, the Jade Emperor was defeated. You know, now the Jade Emperor is no longer the master of the fairyland, but has the combat power equivalent to the 9th level of the Emperor Immortal, which is exactly the same as Wu Yu, not to mention that Wu Yu also has the Ruyi Jinggu Bang. All the seals are lifted. And Wu Yu is a fairy and Buddha, and the realm of the Holy Buddha has also reached the 8th level. The combined strength is indeed much stronger than the current Jade Emperor. At this moment, Xuanhuan Bodhisattva and Queen Mother led other Emperor Immortals and Emperor Demons to besiege the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor. Seeing Wu Yu holding the Ruyi Jinggu Bang and defeating the Jade Emperor with an extremely domineering stick, the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor's black flames gathered up, suddenly turned into light smoke and fled to the distance, and disappeared in an instant. From the beginning to the end, Wu Yu could see that there was no emotion in the eyes of the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor, as if she had lost her own thinking. This made Wu Yu feel a little heavy. He really didn't know what Nangong Wei was like now. Why did she also become a puppet of the giant beast from outer space? In any case, he didn't know where Nangong Wei had gone, and it was impossible to control her or purify her. The most urgent task was to purify the Jade Emperor. After he defeated the Jade Emperor, he used the sealing magic of the Ruyi Jinggu Bang to completely control the Jade Emperor. The former master of the fairyland, who was wearing an imperial robe, still had anger on his face. Now he was extremely angry, but he had no way to resist. As for the escaped Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor, the other emperors and immortals ignored him and surrounded the Jade Emperor. Among them, Xuanhuan Bodhisattva and Luo Bin were the first. During this period, Luo Bin was guided by many emperors and Xuanhuan Bodhisattva, and most importantly, Wu Yu would pass on some experience to her when he was free, so that she had reached the 6th level of emperor. With the help of Xuanhuan Bodhisattva, the Holy Buddha realm also entered the 6th level. The 6th level of the dual cultivation of immortals and Buddhas made her purifying the world magical power even stronger. At this moment, she turned into the dragon body of the 8 heavenly dragons, and the purifying world magical power descended, cooperating with the Yangzi Yulu of Xuanhuan Bodhisattva to purify the Jade Emperor. Luo Bin has been familiar with this matter recently. The main reason is that so many emperors and demons around her have recovered their memories and escaped from the control of the outer beasts under the joint efforts of her and Xuanhuan Bodhisattva. During the purification process, the Jade Emperor is still resisting constantly, but unfortunately, under the suppression of the forbidden magical power of the Ruyi Jinggu Bang, the Jade Emperor has no room for resistance at all. He can only be purified by the purifying world magical power at ease, and the dark demon seeds in his body continue to spread outward. I don't know when the outer beast will wake up. At this time, many emperors and demons are still in a very nervous state. After all, no one knows when the crisis will come. However, after guarding the Lingxiao Palace for several years, there was no sign of the giant beast from outer space, so everyone was relieved. This meant that they still had time to deal with other things, such as saving all the sentient beings in the entire Tiangong fairyland, ordinary gods, etc. After several years, the demon seeds in the Jade Emperor's body were finally cleared. He seemed to have been asleep for a long time, and when he opened his eyes again, he saw that the whole world was different. This feeling was like a dream, but he was sure that everything that happened in the dream was extremely real. The Jade Emperor shed tears and couldn't believe that he had done so many inhumane things under the control of the giant beast from outer space. Destroy the demon god world. Kill several holy Buddhas of the Monkey King. Even invaded the Tianfo fairyland and brought disaster to the people. Recently, Wu Yu can be said to be one of the few sober people in the heavenly court, but he has repeatedly wanted to attack Wu Yu. Thinking of this, the Jade Emperor couldn't help himself and felt guilty about this world. His expression was compassionate and heartbreaking. Seeing him like this, Wu Yu felt bad. All this was brought by the alien beast. Although it can be said that the offspring of the alien beast, that is, the devouring heaven beast, created the current Wu Yu, it must be said that the arrival of the alien beast has plunged the entire Tiangong Xianyu into disaster. If it weren't for the immortal domain master of the Tianfo Xianyu, Tathagata Buddha, who sacrificed himself and severely injured the alien beast, I'm afraid that the Tiangong Xianyu and Tianfo Xianyu would have ceased to exist long ago, and all the emperors, demons, and mortals would have been wiped out. We must destroy the alien beast. At this time, Wu Yu thought of Xianzang again. Now he certainly knows that Xianzang had deceived him too much before, not only about the matter of reshaping the world heart, but more about the truth of the whole thing. Xianzang deceived him. At that time, Xianzang said that it was some forgetfulness spell that caused the emperors and immortals in the heavenly palace to lose their memories. But now it seems that there is no forgetfulness spell at all, and the Jade Emperor is definitely not the culprit. Wu Yu even feels that Xianzang is really a traitor, as Xuanhuan Bodhisattva said, betraying the two major immortal realms and living in shame. Of course, he may also want to defeat the alien beast, but the method is really chilling. With the awakening of the Jade Emperor, many emperors and immortals once again take him as their leader. Although Wu Yu was able to defeat him, he was too young after all, and he might not be as thoughtful as the Jade Emperor in handling many things. The Jade Emperor sorted out his mood, and then he finally woke up and restored his usual wise and authoritative appearance. Now, if we want to defeat the alien beast, we must go to the Tianfo immortal realm to find Xianzang to join forces. The Jade Emperor saw the key point at the moment, but before that, we still have to transfer all the creatures in the Tiangong immortal realm to Wu Yu's emperor realm, otherwise it will be too dangerous. Once the alien beast appears, they will all be in danger. Many emperors and immortals unanimously agreed with the Jade Emperor's decision, and Wu Yu naturally thought that this was the best way to do it. Now Wu Yu has reached the 9th level of the Emperor, and the Well of Eternal Life has been built in the Emperor realm, which can accommodate all the mortals in the Tiangong immortal realm. Immediately, all the emperors and demons work together. The Tiangong immortal realm is close to collapse, and in fact it has long been part of the body of the alien beast, so there is no need to linger. Even the Jade Emperor, who was originally the master of the Celestial Palace, is now completely out of his control, which is very sad. Wu Yu's imperial realm is now the safest place. All the emperors and immortals joined forces to start cleaning up every layer of the Celestial Palace. It was mainly the Jade Emperor and the Queen Mother who knew the entire Celestial Palace like the back of their hands. They knew where many gods and immortals gathered, and also knew where mortals gathered. Wu Yu didn't even need to move around, and other emperors began to transfer all the beings in the Celestial Palace to his imperial realm. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Heaven Swallowing Record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1829. The entire Tiangong immortal domain began to get busy. Many emperors acted in groups of 3 or 5 to avoid any danger, such as the Fire Dance Phoenix Emperor. Once it appeared, an emperor acting alone would be killed by the other party. So they formed a team to transfer the ordinary gods in the 8,000 Tiangong. And after transferring the gods in the heavenly palace, they continued to transfer the creatures in the 90,000 small worlds and the 10,000 hells. After thousands of years, they finally transferred all the creatures in the entire Tiangong immortal domain to Wu Yu's Tiantian Emperor realm. This is the safest place at present. With the influx of so many creatures, Wu Yu felt that his Tiantian Emperor realm was suddenly enriched a lot. There were too many ordinary gods. If it weren't for the construction of the Well of Eternal Life, which expanded the Tiantian Emperor realm tenfold, it would really be impossible to accommodate them all. However, when all the mortals in the Tiangong immortal domain arrived in the Tiantian Emperor realm, Wu Yu felt as if he had the feeling of the master of the immortal domain. With the increase of the power of those living beings, Wu Yu's combat power has been slightly increased. However, since they are foreign creatures, they have little effect on him. He has to wait for these creatures to absorb more immortal spirits in his Tiantian Emperor realm before they can gradually transform into his own combat power. Of course, at this stage, Wu Yu no longer needs the combat power provided by these creatures. The key is that the current opponent is the giant beast from outer space. In the case of fighting against the giant beast from outer space, the impact of these combat powers is almost negligible. Of course, it is better to have something than nothing. When all the creatures in the Tiangong immortal realm were gathered in Wu Yu's Tiantian Emperor realm, they can be said to be temporarily safe. At this time, the Jade Emperor asked many emperors and immortals to gather together, and then proposed the next plan, which is to go to the Tianfo immortal realm, find Xianzang and cooperate with Xianzang. For now, this is also the only way they can fight against the giant beast from outer space. All the emperors gathered together, and Wu Yu used the Ruyi Jingbang to open the bridge of the fairyland, and a golden vortex appeared in front of everyone. The entire Tiangong fairyland was close to collapse, and it was a world in destruction. After losing the well of eternal life, the entire heaven was shaking constantly, and the environment became worse and worse. When the golden vortex appeared, the Jade Emperor took the lead in crossing it, followed by Wu Yu and other emperors, Xuanhuan Bodhisattva, etc. During this period, the outer beast and the fire dance phoenix emperor did not appear, which made them feel a little nervous. Fortunately, all the mortals in the Tiangong fairyland have been safely transferred to Wu Yu's imperial realm. Next, the only thing left is to fight against the outer beast, which is also the most difficult thing. Until now, no one has any confidence. Through the golden vortex, the Jade Emperor led the emperors of the Tiangong fairyland and finally came to the Tianfo fairyland. At this moment, the Tianfo fairyland has fallen into endless chaos. Wu Yu had just come out of the bridge of the fairyland when he found that the power of chaos was echoing everywhere in this Tianfo fairyland, which was completely different from the dead silence when he came here last time. In the chaos, they found that there seemed to be many traces of the holy Buddhas fleeing around, which gave them a bad premonition. Look around. The Jade Emperor ordered, but the emperors and immortals did not disperse too much. After all, no one knew what was going on in this Tianfo fairyland. However, it seemed that the culprit who made such a big fuss did not think about hiding anything. They looked around and found that not far from the original Supreme Buddha realm, there was a terrifying beast in the void. It was a white cat, or a tiger, which was ferociously chasing the holy Buddhas of the Tianfo fairyland and constantly devouring the Buddha realms of those holy Buddhas. No matter what realm the holy Buddhas were in, they could not escape the capture of the white cat. In the end, after a period of time, they were completely devoured by it, and no bones were left. Countless black holy Buddha realms were swallowed by the giant white cat, allowing it to use it to restore its own strength. The Jade Emperor came with all the emperors and immortals from the heavenly palace, and they were all shocked. That's the alien beast. The faces of the emperors and immortals such as Xuanhuan Bodhisattva and Queen Mother changed drastically. They didn't expect to see such a scene when they just came to the heavenly Buddha immortal realm. The alien beast had actually awakened and was devouring the holy Buddha in the heavenly Buddha immortal realm. Obviously, they made such a big fuss in the heavenly palace immortal realm, but the alien beast and the fire dance phoenix emperor did not show up. Obviously, the other party realized it, but ignored it for the time being, and chose to come to the heavenly Buddha immortal realm to devour the holy Buddha and restore their strength. It can be seen that the alien beast seems to be a little weak now. Even the current Jade Emperor and Wu Yu feel that they can compete with it. Take advantage of it and kill it, everyone, take action. The Jade Emperor saw that the opportunity was not to be missed, and immediately gave an order. The mighty Emperor's immortal spirit rushed away, covering the vast void, and the terrifying power instantly surrounded the giant white cat. Other emperors were not to be outdone. Including Wu Yu, they also held the Ruyi Jingbang and attacked the huge white cat, launching a super powerful attack method of the Pillar of the Sky. Unfortunately, the white cat had already prepared when it saw the arrival of the Jade Emperor and other emperors. At this time, there seemed to be a bit of mockery in his eyes, and he glanced at the many emperors. He turned around and disappeared from everyone's sight, turning into nothingness in the void, and completely disappeared. This scene made all the emperors stunned for a moment, and then they were a little unwilling. This was the moment when the alien beast was relatively weak, but it still escaped. I wonder where it has been hiding all these years when it was seriously injured. If it keeps hiding like this until its strength is fully restored, I am afraid that by then, the entire Tiangong immortal realm will not be its opponent. The most urgent thing is to find Xianzang. Maybe Xianzang has a way to find the alien beast. Queen Mother made a suggestion. Yes, find Xianzang now. In addition, there is a way to reshape the Holy Buddha realm heart of the Tianfo immortal realm. At that time, we will definitely be able to fight against the alien beast, the Jade Emperor said. Reshape the Holy Buddha realm heart? Is there any way? Xuanhuan Bodhisattva was a little confused when she heard it. You know, she is from the Tianfo immortal realm, and even she doesn't know how to reshape the realm heart. The Jade Emperor smiled and cast his eyes on Wu Yu. How to reshape the world heart, the key lies in him. Not long ago, the Buddha Tathagata sent a message to me. Now it seems that he had set up a trap back then. The trap set by the Buddha Tathagata. As soon as these words came out, all the emperors and immortals present were surprised. They didn't expect that the Buddha Tathagata was so powerful and might have predicted this disaster from the giant beast from outer space. Heaven-swallowing record. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1830. After the giant white cat beast from outer space disappeared, the Jade Emperor led many emperors and immortals to search for Xianzang in the devastated Tianfo immortal realm. In the Tianfo immortal realm that was destroyed by the giant beast from outer space, many holy Buddhas had been devoured by it and became part of its power. They might become its puppets in the future. The number of holy Buddhas that survived was less than half of the original number. More than half of the holy Buddhas were devoured in the rampage of the giant beast from outer space. The remaining rescued holy Buddhas were also in danger and hid in their own places. Now the holy Buddhas in Tianfo immortal realm have lost their holy Buddha heart and consciousness, so they act completely on instinct. They are all like frightened birds, afraid that they will be devoured by the giant beast from outer space if they appear again. The Jade Emperor and his people have no way to deal with this situation. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward arrow. The next idea is to find Xianzang. In addition, the Jade Emperor has kept it a secret for the time being. He did not say much about how to reshape the world heart. He just asked the emperors to find Xianzang first. When the emperors searched the entire Tianfo immortal realm, they did not find Xianzang after about a few decades. Maybe he was hiding and did not want to face the giant beast from outer space. However, when the Tianfo immortal realm slowly calmed down, Xianzang appeared by himself. The Golden Nine Buddha realm soon appeared in front of the Jade Emperor and Wu Yu, and it was Xianzang. At this moment, Xianzang still had the image of the young monk, but he was a little expressionless, and seemed to be a little dissatisfied with the current state. Alas, he just came over and sighed, and seemed very disappointed with the current situation. Xianzang, you are here. The Jade Emperor was extremely calm. He frowned as he looked at Xianzang. He didn't know what Xianzang was thinking. Xianzang glanced at Wu Yu at this time, with some reproachful meaning. Originally, the alien beast would not wake up so quickly. It was you, Wu Yu, who made trouble, which caused it to wake up early. Now there is no hope. Once it wakes up, it can devour the entire world, and no one can stop it. Wu Yu did not refute his words. After all, he also knew that the awakening of the alien beast was probably caused by the fire dance Phoenix Emperor complaining, that is, when he led other emperors to purify the Queen Mother. However, Wu Yu would never think like Xuanzang and sacrifice the entire Tiangong immortal realm to achieve his own status as the Lord of the immortal realm. Now such a result, Wu Yu does not regret it. If I had reshaped the world's heart, I would have been able to contend with the giant beast from outer space, and in the end, I might have been able to preserve the heavenly Buddha immortal realm. Xuanzang shook his head and sighed, his tone very desperate. Now, there is no way. It won't be long before the giant beast from outer space arrives, and then none of us will be its opponent. The Jade Emperor smiled after hearing this, and obviously did not mean to blame Wu Yu. No, we still have a way, but it is not up to you to reshape the world's heart, but to Wu Yu. The key lies in the Ruyi Jinggubang. This Ruyi Jinggubang is the core of the Buddha of Tathagata, but no one knows it except Tathagata Buddha and me, including you, Xuanzang. What? Xuanzang's face changed slightly. He glanced at Wu Yu, his expression a little surprised, as if he had not expected that the method to simply reshape the world's heart was actually in Wu Yu's hands, and he had even obtained it many times. Tathagata Buddha, why didn't you tell him? He felt that this was too unfair. However, the Jade Emperor immediately said, before the giant beast from outer space arrived, Tathagata Buddha told me about the Ruyi Jinggubang. Perhaps he had already anticipated the arrival of the disaster. Unfortunately, the Buddha did not expect that our Tiangong Xianyu would be defeated earlier than him. Only the already sacrificed Tathagata Buddha and the Jade Emperor knew about this matter. So, now Wu Yu feels that waking up the Jade Emperor is the right decision. Not only does it save all the mortals in the entire Tiangong Xianyu, but it also allows him to learn the final method of reshaping the world heart. Use the Tathagata Jinggubang as the core of the Buddha realm, let Wu Yu become the master of the Tianfo Xianyu, and merge the Tianfo Xianyu with Wu Yu's body and the Buddha realm. In this way, it is the only way to reshape the world heart. Wu Yu will also become the master of the Tianfo Xianyu and have the ability to fight against the giant beast from outer space. As the Jade Emperor said this, many emperors and immortals focused their attention on Wu Yu. Many emperors and immortals nodded in agreement and discussed the matter of letting Wu Yu become the master of Tianfo immortal realm. The main reason was that they had seen Wu Yu's efforts for mortals during this period and recognized him very much. Even Xuanhuan Bodhisattva nodded and agreed to let Wu Yu become the master of Tianfo immortal realm. In this case, Xuanzang's original plan to become the master of Tianfo immortal realm was completely ruined. Seeing that other emperors and the Jade Emperor and others all agreed to let Wu Yu become the master of the fairyland, his face was a little ugly, but he quickly covered it up, and showed a faint smile, shook his head and said, as long as someone can become the master of Tianfo immortal realm and save all living beings, it is enough. As for who it is, it doesn't matter. I also agree to let Wu Yu become the master of Tianfo immortal realm. With his agreement, everyone had nothing to worry about. The emperors and immortals of the Tiangong immortal realm and Xuanzang can be said to have united together. Under Xuanzang's leadership, they headed towards the broken world heart hidden in the void of the Tianfo immortal realm. It was a huge black sphere, exuding the breath of death everywhere, with cracks and holes everywhere, and it was broken into pieces. When everyone came here, Wu Yu took out the Ruyi Jinggubang and planned to give it to the Jade Emperor. After all, no one knows how to reshape the Holy Buddha world heart with the Ruyi Jinggubang, only the Jade Emperor knows the method, so Wu Yu must give the Buddha world core to the Jade Emperor to operate. But at this time, something strange happened. The 9 golden Buddha realms of Xuanzang on the side suddenly moved out, and with a lightning speed, they suddenly attacked and shook Wu Yu and the Jade Emperor away. Although they did not hurt the two of them, they took the opportunity to take away the Ruyi Jinggubang that Wu Yu took out. Let me handle this matter. Xuanzang suddenly made a move, still with a sanctimonious look on his face. Wu Yu, you are still too young. If you become the master of the heavenly Buddha immortal realm, I am afraid it will be difficult to compete with the giant beasts from outer space, so it is best to leave it to me. Until this moment, his inner thoughts were finally exposed, causing many of the surrounding emperors to change their faces. They could not have imagined that such a change would happen at this time. But Xianzang would never have thought that when he pretended to agree before, Wu Yu had actually discussed it with the Jade Emperor and guessed his thoughts. Xianzang, you really are still stubborn. The Jade Emperor saw that he had snatched the Ruyi Bang, but he was not angry at all. He just smiled and shook his head and said, you probably don't know that the Ruyi Bang you snatched is a fake. As soon as these words came out, Xianzang's face finally changed. Watch me. The Jade Emperor raised his hand, and the vast Emperor Immortal aura fell from the sky, instantly closing the space and covering Xianzang's 9 Buddha realms. The most terrifying battle in the fairy land broke out in an instant.